Jack Reacher has been beaten, shot, surrounded, ambushed, and hunted by some very dangerous people before. But Reacher Season 4 introduces something much more unsettling. Someone actually manages to capture him. And the terrifying part isn't that Reacher gets kidnapped. It's that the people behind it clearly don't want him dead. They want information. They know enough about the situation to identify Reacher as someone worth taking alive. They have the resources to overpower him, and they are willing to go to extraordinary lengths to find something he supposedly possesses. But Reacher doesn't have the flash drive. He doesn't know where it is. He doesn't even understand why everyone is suddenly asking him about it, so why capture him? Why not simply eliminate the problem? That question changes the way we should look at the entire opening of Season 4, because the kidnapping isn't just another action sequence designed to give Alan Ritchson something to punch. It is evidence that somebody has badly misunderstood Reacher's role in this conspiracy, and that misunderstanding may be exactly what puts him in the most dangerous position he's ever been in. The story begins with Reacher doing what Reacher does best, minding his own business until somebody else's crisis crosses his path. On a Philadelphia subway, he notices Anna Merrick, a woman behaving so strangely that he immediately suspects something is seriously wrong. She's sweating, nervous, carrying a bag, and looking like someone preparing for something terrible. Reacher assumes the obvious threat could be a bomb, but when he intervenes, Anna pulls a revolver and kills herself. Reacher is left with almost nothing except a dead stranger and a disturbing encounter that doesn't make sense. Then the people looking for Anna's missing flash drive appear. Suddenly, Reacher's brief interaction with her isn't an isolated tragedy anymore. Somebody believes Anna may have handed him something. Reacher doesn't have it, but that doesn't seem to matter. From their perspective, he was there. He touched the situation.
Maybe she gave you something and you ditched it. I'm gonna go back for it later.
He became a possible link. And that's where the nightmare begins. Because the moment Reacher becomes connected to the missing drive,
give me the drive.
He stops being an innocent witness and becomes a potential asset, or a potential threat. Normally, this is where Reacher would turn the tables. He would identify the people following him, figure out what they're hiding, and start dismantling their operation piece by piece. But Season 4 changes the formula. Reacher is eventually captured alongside Tamara Green and Jacob Merrick, and wakes up inside what appears to be a CIA black site. And this is where the kidnapping becomes much more significant than it first appears. These aren't random criminals who happen to get lucky. They have a secure location. They have intelligence. They have enough manpower to restrain multiple people. They know about Anna, they know about Lila, and they believe Reacher can help them find the flash drive. Someone has been feeding them information. The people who capture Reacher don't behave like they're trying to discover what happened from scratch. They already have a theory. They already believe Reacher is connected to the missing evidence. The only thing they don't seem to understand is that Reacher himself is still trying to figure out the same mystery. And that creates one of the most interesting questions in the entire season. Who told them Reacher mattered? Because think about the timeline. Reacher arrives in Philadelphia without any connection to Anna. He doesn't know Lila. He doesn't know the political story. He doesn't know about the flash drive. He simply sees a woman in distress and tries to intervene. Yet not long afterward, he's being treated as though he's part of an operation that has been running long before he arrived. That means somebody has either misunderstood what happened on that subway, or somebody deliberately wants the people hunting the drive to believe Reacher has information he doesn't actually possess.
The flash drive.
I know messenger boys when I see them.
And if the second possibility is true, then Reacher's kidnapping may have been the intended result all along. That's what makes the kidnapping so frightening. Reacher is usually dangerous because he knows what he's looking for. Here, he's dangerous because he doesn't. The people holding him think they have captured a man who knows something. In reality, they've captured a man who is about to start asking questions. And that is a catastrophic mistake. Reacher doesn't need a file folder explaining the conspiracy. He doesn't need a government briefing. Give him a locked room, a handful of armed men, a few contradictions, and enough time, and he'll start reconstructing the truth from the smallest details. Every person in that facility becomes evidence. Every security measure tells him something. Every lie gives him another piece of the puzzle. The kidnappers may believe they've removed Reacher from the investigation, but they have actually placed him inside the one environment where his instincts become even more dangerous. There's also something deeply revealing about the decision to keep Reacher alive. If the people behind this conspiracy truly believed he had the flash drive, killing him would be the simplest solution. If they believed he had passed it to someone else, they could have followed him. If they simply wanted to eliminate a witness, they had plenty of opportunities. Instead, they capture him and question him. That means Reacher's knowledge has value. Someone believes he can lead them to something. And that makes the flash drive more important than a simple collection of embarrassing government documents. Whatever is on that drive is valuable enough that powerful people are willing to take enormous risks just to recover it. But there's another possibility that's even worse. What if Reacher himself isn't the target? What if the kidnapping is actually about finding out who else Reacher has talked to? Because once Reacher starts investigating Anna, he creates a chain of connections. He speaks to Jacob. He encounters people searching for the drive. He begins asking questions about Anna's work and her disappearance. If the people hunting the drive don't know who has the information, following Reacher becomes a way of mapping the investigation. Capture him, interrogate him, find out who he's contacted, what he's learned, and who he's planning to see next. In that scenario, Reacher isn't being held because they believe he has the answer. He's being held because they believe he can lead them to everyone else who might have it. And that would explain why the kidnapping happens so early in the story. The conspiracy isn't waiting for Reacher to uncover everything. It's reacting to him before he gets too close. That's a huge difference. In previous Reacher stories, the hero usually has time to investigate the enemy before the enemy fully understands what kind of threat he's become. Here, the opposition recognizes the danger much faster. They see Reacher getting involved, and instead of waiting for him to discover the truth, they attempt to remove him from the board. It's an intelligent response. And that's exactly why it feels so dangerous. Then there's Russell Plum, the freelance journalist who becomes involved in the situation and helps Reacher escape. His presence adds another layer to the kidnapping because it confirms that the black site mystery isn't just paranoia. There really are people operating in the shadows, and they have been watching the facility long enough to suspect what it is. Plum has spent his career chasing government secrets, and even he understands that whatever is happening here is bigger than an ordinary political scandal. That matters because Reacher isn't just being hunted by one group. Multiple groups are searching for the same information, and they don't necessarily want the same outcome. Some want the drive recovered, some want it exposed, some want the people connected to it silenced, and Reacher is caught between all of them. That's where the story becomes much more dangerous than a simple CIA conspiracy. Imagine knowing that several different organizations are searching for the same piece of evidence, while none of them fully trust the others. Every group thinks someone else has the drive. Every group has its own version of what the drive contains. And Reacher becomes the one person who keeps moving between these worlds without belonging to any of them. That's why capturing him makes sense from their perspective. He's an unknown variable. They can't control him on the outside, so they put him somewhere they believe they can control him. Except they can't, because the biggest mistake these people make is assuming that capturing Reacher means controlling Reacher. It doesn't. The cage doesn't make him less dangerous, it gives him a problem to solve. The restraints don't make him less dangerous, they tell him how his captors operate. The interrogation doesn't make him less dangerous, it tells him what they are afraid of. And once Reacher realizes that the people holding him are more interested in the flash drive than in him personally, the entire situation begins to reverse. He no longer needs to escape just because he wants his freedom. He needs to escape because every question they ask him tells him something about the conspiracy. That's the terrifying irony of the kidnapping. The people who capture Reacher may accidentally teach him exactly how to destroy them. And there is one final detail that makes the situation even more disturbing. Anna is dead. The flash drive is missing. Ben is missing. Lila's story doesn't make sense. Government agents are involved. Private attackers are involved. And Reacher is the one person who doesn't seem to have an agenda. He isn't protecting a politician. He isn't hiding government secrets. He isn't trying to sell information. He isn't trying to manipulate the investigation. He's simply following contradictions until they lead somewhere. That makes him incredibly difficult to predict, because there is no political objective you can threaten him with. There is no career to destroy. There is no reputation he cares about. And there is no organization he needs to protect. You can't blackmail a man who has nothing to lose. That's why I think the kidnapping is one of the most important moments of the entire opening. It isn't there simply to show that Reacher can survive another fight. It's the moment the conspiracy reveals how scared it is of him. Anna's death brings him into the story. The flash drive gives him a reason to investigate, but the kidnapping proves that somebody has realized exactly what happens when Jack Reacher starts asking questions. And that leaves us with the most terrifying possibility of all. What if they didn't capture Reacher because they knew he had the flash drive? What if they captured him because they were afraid of what he would discover if they let him keep looking? Because if that's the truth, then the people behind this conspiracy have already made their biggest mistake. They gave Reacher a reason to fight. They showed him what they're capable of. They revealed that they're afraid. And now Reacher knows exactly where to start looking. The kidnapping wasn't the moment Reacher lost control of the investigation. It was the moment the people behind the conspiracy accidentally gave him his first real clue.